Okay, can you talk about how difficult it was to raise this fund? Because, I mean, let's just stack the odds here, okay, for a second. And I think you know where this is going, but we've got crypto bear market, we've got VC fundraising bear market, we've got, I don't know, crypto VC fund bear market too.
Yes. We like to
How
play
did
on
you do
hard
it?
mode. We're going for
How
the
did you
seed
do
run
it?
here. I think this is like a little bit of a misconception or misnomer in that yes, obviously VC fundraising has been going down, crypto fundraising has been going down, but in practice, it's really just consolidating into the best performing funds that are winning. I mean, both across crypto venture and more traditional venture. To your point, LPs are very pro-cyclical, and when you're looking at the public market, when you're looking at something like Bitcoin, sentiment tends to kind of track that. But when we look at crypto, I think really like the aperture of what we invest into with our Fund 3 and increasingly our Fund 4 is broad. I think people are maybe over-indexing on this kind of NFT creator economy story that was in vogue a couple of years ago. But in practice, when you look at the up and coming new crypto companies, it's stuff like Polymarket, which is running on stablecoins, is running on Rails, or it's stuff like Rain, which is a new company we just backed that allows you to spend stablecoins with a debit card instead of going to having to off ramp through traditional banking infrastructure. And so, if you look at overall investments, I mean, YC just put out a bunch of RFSs for stablecoin based startups. It's more about, hey, crypto being this sort of underlying financial plumbing, this new sort of substrate that you're all building all these more interesting businesses on top of versus like crypto just existing for the sake of existing.
I want to get to the startups in a second here, but with the fund itself and the fundraising, was it mostly returning investors? Did you get new investors?
Uh, Pretty much every existing LP re-upped, and we got a couple new LPs as well. We're pretty institutional these days, and I think people who have a long-term time horizon, if anything, see this as a great opportunity to be deploying in the space. I think crypto has died, 4 or 5 times at this point. I think I've lost count, and it's kind of found a way to reinvent itself after every cycle, and it always looks a little bit different. And I think that's also why LPs like working with a fund manager who is spending day in day out looking at what's actually happening on the ground, finding new companies, and trying to spot those new trends, which is, I think, what we've had a good track record of doing here.
Now, you talked about prediction markets and stable coins as two areas that you're looking at with this new fund. Are there any intersections with AI? And I don't mean to bring everything back to AI because that's not what we try to do here. But I
Mm.
have been hearing that these agentic protocols that are coming up, I mean, one possible way to navigate the payments issue here is with blockchain. And look, I don't know if it's the same group of people that were working in crypto that have now come to AI that are saying this, or if there's actually potential here. But have you seen startups that are working on this? Is there a real intersection?
Yeah, I think in many ways they're very complementary technologies. I think if you look back at the intersection, we haven't really done any investments. They've been things that have been focused on decentralized compute, decentralized inference, decentralized training. I think for a variety of reasons, those don't really make sense. You have this sort of inherent cost to decentralized compute that just adds to the already enormous cost of training a new model or running inference on an existing model. But kind of the interesting things that we're seeing now, or to your point, more around agentic payments, where, hey, if you want, I think Stripe recently put out a post saying that they, imagine a future payment system that's require 1 billion transactions per second. When you have all these, agents making micropayments, buying a fraction of an API or doing cross-border payments, it makes sense they would maybe want something that is global and programmable and 24/7. You're seeing things like Hyperliquid and Lighter, which are two perp dexes, really leading the market. I mean, even this weekend with the news in Iran, people are trading commodities pre-open on these decentralized futures platforms, and so you can get a sense of what the market sentiment is going to be before the futures open on Sunday. And I think, interestingly, there's also this just overlap of personnel between crypto and AI. People forget, Sam Altman was also a co-founder of WorldCoin, which is a decentralized humanity verification startup. And recently, I think there was a leak or a post. I think maybe the information picked it up actually that they're looking at doing some collaboration with OpenAI to create a human-only social network. And so it seems like there is going to be increasing some this kind of overlap between the two. I think people are also just excited about like distributed compute. So for us, we're an investor in Exo. which is it's a company that allows you to basically shard inference across multiple different Apple Silicon devices on your network. So if you want to run, an open source model that's kind of beefy, you don't have to go and buy like a really, beefy, GPU or like a, H200 or something. You can just run this on, not to meme too much, but a Mac Mini or a couple Mac Studios that are running on your network. And, that allows you to really take advantage of edge compute. So I think the two will continue to collide, naturally in a world where there's insane abundance and insane just flooding of content and things coming out of AI. Crypto is sort of this natural scarcity function, this natural sort of gating function. And we're looking for ways that there's going to continue to collide in Fund 4.
On the talent piece, how much harder is it to get the smartest people to come work at these crypto startups now, given that now there's this other shiny thing that wasn't really in vogue 3, 4 years ago?
The talent wars are very real. And we do see, again, talent going back and forth between the two. Um, I would say sort of mainstream crypto these days is actually competing more with traditional finance and financial services, and pulling people out of those. So when we see people, leaving JP Morgan or American Express or Visa and going into crypto, that's really more where the industry is going. It's kind of building this new sort of financial substrate. And so, I mean, you're right that, hey, talent is scarce, and I think people see those, multi-million dollar,
Yeah.
comp packages coming out of OpenAI, but
Well, yeah,
they
and
still really get
even for
founders.
payment, I mean, I'm just thinking about payments here. Somebody is working at JP Morgan, let's say, or a big bank. They have an option to go work at a crypto company, or they could go work in this thing, agentic commerce, agentic payments.
Yeah,
OpenAI is building. I don't know. I just feel I feel like um, it's hard.
yeah. I think the two are really, again, one of the same. If you look at what's leading the road, or leading the way in agentic payments, it's people implementing X402, which is this new standard for doing payments over the internet. Stripe's adopting it. Coinbase is adopting it. And so if you think about, hey, where is the future of commerce going to go? It's probably going to want something programmable, something definite, something global, something you can custody. And already, I think we're seeing a lot of companies coming out of accelerators, coming out of seed, focused on this part of the market. So, who knows? Maybe the future is also you get one dude in a garage, vibe coding some sort of thing, and I think that's maybe more likely than not.
Right. Great. Well, Tom, congrats on the fun. I want to thank you for coming on. That is Tom Schmidt, a partner at Dragonfly Capital here on TITV.